here, Little Gems Jewelry Canada. Today we are going to be making a wire wrapped necklace, and we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Jewelry Canada. Today we are going to be making a wire necklace. You're going to need your beads. You're going to need your flat nose pliers, your round nose pliers, your flush cutters, and of course you're going to need your wire. Today I am using 8mm aluminum wire. Now I buy this in my welding section, and the reason I use aluminum is because it does not tarnish. So you're going to need to take a bit of wire, and we're going to make 2 sections for this necklace. You're also going to need your clasp, and I like to use a necklace extender. Okay, so to start, you are going to go to the very tip of your pliers. First of all, let's look at our end. So my end is not quite flat. So I will just take an emery board and I'll just flatten that end. Okay. Now that's optional. If you don't care if it's perfect, then you don't have to do that. I care because I sell a lot of my things. So you're going to take your round nose pliers, you're going to put the wire right to the end, and you are going to make a loop. Okay, so we've made a loop, and then we just go back on ourselves a bit. Okay, we're going to make sure that that loop is nice and closed. Okay, and this is what we've made. And I just took a length of wire. I had some leftover wire from another project. You're going to put on your bead. Now your bead, you can use whatever. I'm using these ones. They are, oh gosh, I don't know how big they are. They're not that big. So I'm going to bend it with my nail. You see how I just did that? I bent it with my nail. Take your cutters. You're going to cut about 1/2 inch. Okay. Then you're going to go back to your round nose. Oh, I keep going out of focus. Sorry about that, guys. You're going to go to your round nose and you're just going to make a loop. Oh. And make sure it closes in on itself, okay? Sorry. I went out of focus there for a minute. I don't know what's going on. Then you want to make sure your loops are facing the same way, okay? Grab them like this and make sure they're facing the same way, and that one's closed. Okay, there we go. And you'll get better and better as you make them. So I should have gone a little bit wider, but that's okay. Now, so you're going to make 20 of those sections, okay? Now, the next part of our necklace, again, I always want this flat, so I just take an old emery board and I just flatten it, okay? And now at the end of your pliers, you're going to turn it until it touches, okay? And now I'm going to move my pliers. Oh my goodness, I wish you could see this better. Okay, I'm going to move my beads so I can get further down on my board. Excuse my messy beading board. So I'm going to put my pliers right beside, see, right here, right beside the loop I made. And then I'm going to make a loop in the other direction. Okay, so this is what I have. Okay, see? And now I'm just going to take the cutters. Now I want the cutters towards my work. So I'm just going to take those cutters, cut here. So now what you're going to have is you're going to have like an S ring, and you're going to have your section, okay? So you see those two? Now, I want you to make 20 of those and 20 of these, okay? And then meet me back. Actually, I think you need 21 of these. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we're putting it together. So, 20 of these, 20 of those. Let me show you the beaded one again. So, I take my emery board and I just flatten that. Then, I take my pliers. And with the wire being right at the end, I'm going to turn it until I get that. Then I'm going to just make it go back on itself a bit. I'm going to take one of my beads, put it on. Using my nail, I'm going to bend like that. See that? Then I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to go a little bit longer than last time. Cut my wire. Then putting that right at the tip of my pliers. Right at the tip, I'm going to turn it all the way around. Okay? Yeah, like that. Using my flat nose, I'm going to pinch it. And then I'm just going to make sure that they're both facing the same way. Okay? And there's another section. To make the piece, the other piece, snip, make sure it's nice and flat. Take your pliers at the very tip. You're going to make it touch. See, so it's touching. Then place your pliers the other way and go around the other way. So we've got this S. Cut your wire. And there, you've got one of these S sections. So now we've got two S sections. 20 of these, 20 of those. Do that. Meet me back. Okay, so I've done my 20 beads and I've done my 20 links. Actually, I didn't count them, so if I need more, I'll just make more. But now what you're going to do is you're going to start with a link. You are going to take your flat nose pliers, and we're just going to make sure the link is nice and straight. And then we are going to open the link sideways. You'll always open them sideways. We're going to put on one of the sections we made. So if you decided you wanted to do 2 beads in a section or 3 beads in a section, the main thing is it's a section. Okay, so we're going to do this section, and now we're going to go to another link. Make sure it's nice and straight. Open one side, attach it to the ball, close it, open the other side, attach the ball, and you're just going to continue with your pattern until it fits around your neck. If you're making these to sell, you want to do a minimum of 14 inch in length. This is also where you can make sure that your loops are touching each other so that you don't have anything slip off. Okay, so keep going until it's the length you want, and then meet me back. Okay, so I've done all of the connecting, okay? And see, isn't it beautiful? Now, depending on the size of your beads and how tightly you did your links, you know, make sure you measure it. 20 and 20 may not be exactly right, yeah, just make sure you measure, okay? So now what I have here is I have my clasp, a jump ring, and my necklace extender. So we're going to start with the necklace extender. All the necklace extender is a piece of wire. Or not wire, a piece of chain. So I'm just going to find the opening here. And then I'm going to open it. Always open everything to do with jewelry sideways. And if you ended up on a bead, this would be put on the bead end. Okay, so see, that's the necklace extender. Then I take my jump ring and put on my clasps. Sorry, I'm getting out of focus. There we go. Put on the clasp, and I go to the other end. And the other end, you should have ended off with a link. And we're going to put that link on there. And then, whoops, we're going to close that up. Make sure it's nice and closed. Okay, and there, my friends, is your beaded necklace, your completed beaded necklace with clasp. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it. Okay, so I hope you found value in this tutorial. Hit that like and subscribe. I try and do new tutorials every Tuesday, and when I have time, I do like reruns in between. So yes, anyway, check it out. Check out the description. All kinds of goodies in my description, and have a great day. Bye now.